Imagine a castle, a medieval fortress perched on a hill in the Austrian Alps. It's May 1945. Hitler is dead. Berlin has fallen. The war in Europe is, for all intents and purposes, over. But in this castle, a final, bizarre battle is about to begin. A battle where the lines between friend and foe, enemy and ally, will blur into something history had never seen before and has never seen since. This is the story of the last battle of World War II in Europe, where American soldiers and German Wehrmacht troops fought side by side. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is Flashpoints, the wars that shaped us. Castle Itter was being used as a VIP prison by the SS. Its inmates were French dignitaries, former prime ministers, generals, even the tennis star Jean Barotra. As the Nazi regime crumbled, their SS guards mostly fled, leaving the prisoners in a precarious limbo. They were free, but not safe. Fanatical SS units, refusing to surrender, were roaming the Austrian countryside, hunting for traitors and prisoners alike. The French prisoners knew a rogue SS battalion would come to execute them. Their only hope? To find someone, anyone, to defend them. Their salvation came from two unlikely directions. First, a German officer, Major Josef Gangl. He was a Wehrmacht commander who had long been disillusioned with the Nazis. He'd even been working with the Austrian resistance. Gangl decided his duty was to protect these prisoners from his own countrymen. He and a handful of his loyal men drove to the castle. But a few soldiers wouldn't be enough. They needed an army. So next, they sent a desperate plea to the nearest American forces. A white flag was literally waved down by a reconnaissance team from the U.S. 12th Armored Division. The American lieutenant in charge, John C. Jack Lee, didn't hesitate. He grabbed a handful of tanks and a small squad of men and raced to the castle. Think about that moment. The war was won. Every instinct must have been to stay safe, to go home. But Lee went toward the danger to rescue former enemies. So, on the morning of May 5, 1945, the defenders of Castle Itter took their positions. Inside the walls, a ragtag force. Lieutenant Lee and 14 American GIs. Major Gangl and about 10 German soldiers who had sworn to fight with him. And the French prisoners themselves, armed with whatever weapons they could find. Outside the walls, an attacking force of roughly 150 to 200 Waffen-SS fanatics, determined to wipe the castle off the map. The battle was chaos. The SS stormed the castle gates with machine guns and Panzerfausts. One of the two American Sherman tanks was destroyed. The defenders were pinned down, running low on ammunition. At one point, the tennis star Barotra vaulted over the castle wall, sprinted through SS lines, and ran to find help. But as the afternoon wore on, it seemed help would arrive too late. Major Gangl was killed by a sniper, dying as an ally to the men he was once commanded to fight. The courtyard was a killing zone. The tide turned with a sound that must have seemed like a miracle, the rumble of approaching tanks. A larger American relief force, guided by Barotra, finally broke through. The SS, caught between the castle defenders and fresh American armor, scattered into the woods. The battle was over. The prisoners were saved. And in that smoldering courtyard, a photograph was taken that defies belief. Smiling American soldiers and Wehrmacht troops, shoulder to shoulder, moments after the fighting stopped. It's a story that feels like a Hollywood script, but it's real. And what gets me, as an engineer and a storyteller, is the precise moment of decision it represents. For Gangl, for Lee, for those German soldiers who stood with them. At the absolute end of a cataclysmic war defined by hatred, they made a conscious choice. They chose a shared humanity over ideology. They chose to defend the helpless, redefining who their people really were in the process. It was a tactical alliance, yes, but it was built on a moral one. It reminds us that history isn't just about vast, impersonal forces. It's about individuals, at a flashpoint, making a choice. The battle for Castle Itter is a strange, beautiful footnote, a signal flare in the twilight of war, showing that even after years of darkness, our better angels can still find a way to stand together on the battlements. For Flashpoints, I'm Ibnul J. Farabi. This is a Light Knot Studios production. Find more episodes at https://www.lightknotstudios.com.